This is an iHeart podcast.
Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right. We're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
Hey, friends, this is part 2 of Brain Buzz. If you haven't listened to part 1, go listen to that and then join us back on this episode. We're going to do a run through now, so get ready for those lights. Oh, yeah, the game show music is a bit loud too, so I like to warn kids about that also, said Brittany as she took her spot behind one of the big cameras. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Brittany pointed to the side of the stage and out walked Buzz Brainley. And as soon as Levi and Ivy saw him, something happened that they could have not seen coming. They got really, really nervous. The lights, the music, the camera, it was a lot to take in all at once. So when Buzz started talking to them, they kind of froze up. Levi might have forgotten his name, and Ivy may have just blurted out an answer, the wrong answer, without pressing her buzzer first. Buzz kept firing off questions while Levi and Ivy tried their best to stay cool under pressure. Carl and Casey seemed to be doing fine, but even they were getting some easy questions wrong because of their nerves. It's totally okay, said Buzz reassuringly. Lots of kids get a little nervous during the run-through, but that's why we do it, so you don't get butterflies in your tummy on taping day. Just try your best and have fun. Levi and Ivy's parents watched all this happen from 2 seats in the audience and were ready to help if needed. When the run-through was over, they were getting Levi and Ivy back in the car. They asked how they were feeling. Levi and Ivy both confessed that they were overwhelmed, nervous, and scared that they were going to forget all they had learned when they played Brain Buzz for real on Monday. You know, if you need any help or a pep talk or anything like that, just ask, said Levi and Ivy's mom as they walked from the car into the house. We know, Mom, said Levi and Ivy. All you need to know is that you're stronger together, and as long as you work as a team, there is no way you can be disappointed in your performance, said Levi and Ivy's dad. Win or lose on Monday, you've made it this far, and that is incredible. Levi and Ivy knew their dad was right, and his words made them feel confident once again. They knew they had to use the next couple of days to form a strong team bond together, and in doing so, they could keep each other calm and focused during their big matchup against Carl and Casey. Thanks, Mom and Dad, said Ivy. Levi and I have some training to do. We'll let you know if we need anything, though. And off they went. For the next 2 days, Levi and Ivy were inseparable. They did everything together. This caused their brother-sister team bond to become stronger and stronger and their confidence level to go up, up, up. Knowing they had the other person there to rely on if they got nervous made them feel like they could take on any question that Buzz Brainley threw at them. Then before they knew it, it was Monday, and they were eating a good breakfast and going over some final questions before they left for their big game show debut. What's the order of the planets from the sun? Ivy asked Levi. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune? Said Levi, sounding more like a question than an answer. So close, said Ivy, reading off her note cards. The correct answer is Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. That's just the type of question that Buzz will ask in the final buzzer beater round, said Levi, sounding a bit defeated. I have to figure out how to remember the right order. Ivy always had trouble with that question too, so she tried to think of a way for both of them to remember it. They finally decided on taking the first letter of each planet in its correct order and using those letters to start a word. Then they would make a funny sentence, and that would make it easier to remember. My very energetic mom juggles 7 ukuleles nicely, Ivy said, laughing so hard that she almost couldn't get the words out. Levi laughed too, and they repeated the same silly sentence over and over again, remembering that the beginning of each word linked up with the planet's name. Mom for Mars, energetic for Earth, and so on. Knowing that they had done all they could to prepare, Levi and Ivy walked onto the Brainy Buzz set with their heads held high. The parking lot was packed with cars, and it was standing room only in the audience. It seemed like the entire town was there. Buzz Brainley welcomed Levi, Ivy, Carl, and Casey, saying, "Remember, the most important thing is having fun out there. Just pretend you're playing Brain Buzz in your living rooms at home and have a great time. Buzz's words put everyone at ease, but only for a moment. Brittany stepped forward and told everyone it was time to start and that they needed to get to their podiums. She told everyone to have a great show and started her countdown. 3, 2, 1. And just like that, Brain Buzz began. Levi and Ivy looked at each other as the loud music played and Buzz ran out to the center of the stage to say hello to the audience. "We can do this," said Ivy. "Together, we can do anything," added Levi. And after saying hello to Buzz, the first question was asked. Then the second, the third, and so on. Levi and Ivy were doing great answering the first 3 questions right and adding points to their score. Carl and Casey, however, were a little faster with their buzzer for the next couple of questions, and the game was heating up. It stayed like that for the rest of the show. And once the final question was asked, the 2 teams were all tied up. The only thing left now was the buzzer beater. And this is where our story began. Brain Buzz audience, I'll ask you to stay very quiet while our contestants decide on their answer to our buzzer beater question, said Buzz Brainly. This one question is worth $100 and a year's worth of ice cream from the Sunday shop. So whichever team buzzes in with the correct answer first will be our big winner. After cheering each other on for the whole game and staying positive no matter if they got an answer wrong, Levi and Ivy felt like an unbeatable force. The game show took a break before the final buzzer beater question, and Levi and Ivy had a chance to talk. "No matter what happens next, Ivy, I'm so proud of us," said Levi. "I feel the same way," Ivy answered. "Even if we lose, this is such an incredible experience, and I wouldn't have wanted to share it with anyone but you." Levi and Ivy weren't able to talk to their parents during the show and couldn't really see them sitting in the audience because of the bright lights. So while they had a minute, they tried their hardest to see if they could spot them. "There they are, Ivy," called Levi, pointing into the crowd. They both waved to their parents, letting them know that they were doing great and not nervous like before. Levi and Ivy's parents waved back, so happy that their kids were enjoying themselves. Brittany gave everyone a wave and told Levi, Ivy, Carl, and Casey that they were going to start again in a few seconds. She counted down once again, and Buzz ran back out onto the stage. "Let's all have one more big round of applause for these 2 incredible teams," said Buzz, clapping right along with the audience. "We're now ready for our final buzzer beater question that will determine the winner of our game. Good luck, everyone, and listen carefully." Buzz then went on to tell Levi, Ivy, Carl, and Casey that once they heard the question, they had to write down their answers on their answer board. Once their answer was written down, they had to press their buzzer. If that team had the correct answer, they'd win it all. But if they got it wrong, the other team would share their answer for a chance to win. A new question would be asked if both teams got the answer wrong. At that point, all of Buzz's words were running together, and Levi and Ivy wished he would just ask the final question. The anticipation was almost too much to take. They couldn't help but wonder if it would be a question they had studied up on or something they would have to guess at. Only time would tell, and that time was now. Okay, teams, the final buzzer beater question is, name the plants in their correct order from the sun. And your time starts now, said Buzz as some suspenseful buzzer beater questions music played in the background. Now, to anyone in the audience, it would have looked like Levi and Ivy were completely shocked by the question. Maybe it even looked like it was a question they had no idea how to answer correctly. But those people would have been wrong. Levi and Ivy looked at each other in complete disbelief, as this was the question they'd been waiting for. Then, in a move that really surprised everyone, Levi and Ivy started laughing. "Thinking of that silly sentence to remember the order of the planets from the sun is making me laugh," giggled Levi. "Me too," laughed Ivy. "But we have to concentrate and write down our answer. We're so close to winning, Levi. Let's not mess it up because we got a case of the giggles." Levi nodded and grabbed a marker while Ivy recited the silly sentence they had created. And as Ivy slowly said the sentence, Levi wrote out the planets in the perfect order. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Or as Levi and Ivy remembered it, my very energetic mom juggles 7 ukuleles nicely. Levi and Ivy looked over at their answer one last time, and then, just as they felt their fingers touch the top of their bright green buzzer, they heard a loud sound coming from Carl and Casey's podium. "What? Oh no, they buzzed in before us," Levi whispered to Ivy, looking so disappointed. Oh no, all the hard work for nothing, Ivy thought to herself. Until she remembered something very important. Levi, we still have a chance if they get it wrong, and even if they don't, we know we got it right and we had fun today. You're right, Ivy, said Levi. Let's see what happens. And all they could do at that moment was wait to hear Carl and Casey's answer. Buzz Brainley walked over and congratulated them for hitting the buzzer first as he picked up their answer board. Your answer is Mercury, Venus, Earth, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, said Buzz before taking a pause with a sad look on his face. I am so sorry, but that is not the correct answer. Then he turned to Levi and Ivy, who could barely control their excitement at that point. They got it wrong, Ivy. We're gonna win. We're gonna win, whispered Levi to his sister. Levi and Ivy, you have a chance to win right now if you have written down the correct order of the planets from the sun, said Buzz as he looked at their answer board. And even before he read out the answer, Levi and Ivy watched as the corner of his mouth turned up just a little bit into a tiny smile. Your answer is correct! Levi and Ivy, you are our big winners on this episode of Brain Buzz, exclaimed Buzz Brainley as Levi and Ivy jumped around the stage before going over to congratulate Carl and Casey on a great game. Buzz called Levi and Ivy to the center of the stage as Carl and Casey walked over to the side with Brittany. That was one of the best games of Brain Buzz I've seen in a long time, said Buzz. You were both very strong teams, and it just came down to our last buzzer beater question. Tell me, did you have a special way of remembering the orders of the planets from the sun? Levi and Ivy's parents had been asked to go up on stage with their kids and were standing next to them, giving Levi and Ivy hugs when Ivy and Levi started laughing at Buzz's question. We do have a special way of remembering the order, Buzz, said Ivy. It was just one silly sentence that helped us win it all. And that sentence is, my very energetic mom juggles 7 ukuleles nicely, said Levi, laughing hysterically. Buzz started laughing as well and had to ask Levi and Ivy's mom if that sentence was accurate. I can juggle 5 ukuleles, but I've never tried 7, laughed Levi and Ivy's mom, going along with the joke. I want to say thank you to everyone joining us here today for our special Brain Buzzing Around the Country tour, said Buzz. A special thank you, of course, to Carl and Casey and to our winners, Levi and Ivy. Here is your $100 check and your gift card to a year's worth of ice cream from the Sunday Shop. And from everyone here at Brain Buzz, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun Lively Lewis story with you.
This is an iHeart podcast.